Good Wednesday morning. It is February the 28th, and I'm here with you for a little update. So we'll go ahead and get started here real quick. I'm just going to kind of hit these real fast and try to speed these videos up a little bit. So we'll dive right in here to the S&P 500. I just want to reiterate we are still bearish on this, and we are still looking to sell this thing. So we were watching in this area right through here, which is pretty much where we're at, and we had a zone that we were trying to sell into. That zone was pretty much right through here, so we have met that zone and actually surpassed it a little bit with us peeking out to the upside. But even so that it's peaked out of the upside there, we still have a lot of air underneath us, and we have a lot more downside risk than we do upside potential. So I'm staying with it. Now, we did have a crossover here, and the high was taken out, so we'll have to kind of reevaluate this if we can close strong this week, the next couple of days here. If we do close pretty strong this week, then we'll have to kind of start looking to play this on the bullish side, even though we don't necessarily agree with it. So a couple of trades I want to give to you real quick. I jumped into Lowe's this morning. They reported earnings, and it was not as good as what Wall Street had expected. So even so, I think that it was a good quarter, and they showed several encouraging signs in there. I think that it's kind of one of those that, given the guidance that they have and stuff, it was just a little bit under where expectations were. So the stock had those expectations priced in, so whenever the expectations get changed, it has to reevaluate and reprice. So that's what we're seeing right now. I jumped in at about 88.5, I think is where it was at this morning when I hopped into it. Yeah, somewhere around 88.5 or $88 or something like that. I jumped in pretty much right out of the gate. Because I thought the quarter was pretty good, and it's rallied pretty strong, and I jumped in using March 16th $90 calls, and those were already up 25%, so not bad for an hour and a half. Another one that I wanted to mention to you was Comcast. It got sold off yesterday. CMCSA is the ticker. So I think that it's one. Oh, and Lowe's. Let me just say real quick on Lowe's. I think you can buy it. I think it does have a potential for a little bit more downside. We could go down to the 618, which is around $85. So I'm going to be exiting that position I started. This will end up being a day trade. But I think that we could go down to $85. And if we do, we also have the 200-day right underneath that at 83.5. So I think that's a buy zone for shares of Lowe's. We'll have to kind of keep an eye on the housing trends and market and stuff altogether. But I think it'll be all right, especially from a longer term perspective. Comcast is going to buy Sky Networks, so they're trying to buy Sky Networks over in Europe. So shares kind of plunged because that means they have to spend money, so they have less money in the bank. But I think overall it'll be a net positive effect for shares of Comcast, so I went ahead and jumped into it. I just feel like it was a little bit over-exaggerated, the sell-off was, so I hopped right on in there yesterday, pretty much out of the gate. Now, it obviously dipped a little bit lower this morning, but shares are recovering today. So I jumped into the May, which means I'm giving it a few months here, but I'm jumped into the May 40 calls, so we'll have to see. That's a bet that it returns back up to these highs. And it may fail. I mean, it may jump back up here to 40 and then fall again, but I think that from a short-term tactical standpoint, this one's worth considering. Another one that we had is we had been talking about Walmart a little bit here, so Walmart, I think that you can still stay with it. Like I say, we've been kind of talking about it dipping on down here to this 87.90 to 87 area. It looks like that's what's going to happen. It's taking out support right now, as we speak, kind of thing. So we're now below this low over here. So this is a 10-day, 15-minute chart here. So this one will probably break loose here in just a little bit and head on down that ways to the 87 to 90 area. And I think at that point you go ahead and buy it again. Let's see, another one here that I wanted to point out was Roku. It is a very high beta stock, so it moves a lot relative to the market and stuff. They they had earnings that weren't quite up to expectations, but they were still fairly solid. I bought because it looked like it was just testing this $40 support, which is held on several occasions before, so you can see right through here. We'll just go ahead and go with it. This has kind of been a zone that's worked for it for several times, and you can even see that it was resistance over here, and then it was support, and so far it's been supportive in this most recent move. So I think that you go ahead and buy against 40 with an expectation that it's going to probably hold in there and start rallying back to the upside. It's a high growth story or a high growth company, so the story is a little bit expensive, but I think you can go ahead and stay with or start buying into Roku. Alright, one of the other ones that I did was a short on Boeing. I've done this one several times because I think it's kind of getting overvalued and it's worked out, but it keeps breaking out to new highs. The last trade did not work out, but I think that still I went ahead and put this trade on yesterday as we were jumping up here to these new highs, and it's starting to kind of act like it's starting to peak or top out here. So I think that for a short play you can do Boeing, but it's just one of those that you got to be careful with because there's a lot of momentum in this thing, and it's been a great performer, and that's one of the reasons that I think that you got to kind of bet against it, is that stock has almost been parabolic, especially since since 2016. That's kind of when the rally started, and it's pretty much gone straight up. So to go from $100 or $110 up to 370, I mean, that's a pretty ridiculous move for, you know, pretty much 2 years time. So that's about a 400, or I'm sorry, not a 400, probably about a, 300% move or so. So I think you can short Boeing, but be careful with it because it has not been cooperating of late. Let's see here. What else do I have for you? I still have the Pandora calls. They have it's kind of evaporated because Pandora kind of got beat up in their earnings report. Although they beat expectations, the shares just didn't. It wasn't enough, so they have started moving lower. I think it's going to probably go down here and test this low again, so that's right down, around 4.25 or so, like that. Yeah, 4.09 or so. So down around $4, we'll probably give it a try again, see if we can't get a bid in Pandora. But I think that this one's starting to become dangerous because Amazons and Apples and Googles of the world are just kind of overtaking the music space, so Pandora is no longer as niche as it used to be. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here for now. I'll have a video out here for you in a little bit, another one with a few more trade ideas. I saw quite a few things this morning, so I'm trying to get those all listed up here. But there's just a few to go ahead and get you started with. So buying Lowe's and selling Boeing. Ooh, what else do we have there? Well, just rewind the video and watch. Alright, I'll talk to y'all in a little bit. Thanks, bye-bye.